It's Monday, and we just completed the start of the week, which means that we have done our weekly calls, which is a team call to go over the weekends. Then we had a service squad call as well, where we discussed the planning for the coming week and the milestones that we have to focus on, that we have to achieve. And then afterwards I had our bi-weekly check-in with the marketing and sales squad, which right now is me and Pim. And we discussed the ongoing items that we have to focus on. And specifically we discussed our OKRs. So based on the objective that we have for the company on marketing and sales this quarter, we have identified our sub-objectives that we want to achieve and the key results that we have to create to produce that. And then this is also the last week of the month, which is the week that you could say like the most. It's where I spend a lot of time on the culture and the internals of the company, meaning that I have my one-on-ones. So every team member gets 1 hour of my agenda, and we can discuss anything that's on their mind. And it's a way for me to quickly surface any important information or concerns from people around the company, but also on a personal level that might hinder them in their work or keeps them back and that have to be handled. And then that all results in the town hall on Friday, which is a meeting where the whole company gets together either physically or partially remote, and we discuss on the past month, how are things going, what went well, what could have we done better, and then looking ahead on the coming month, which is November, where we want to go and what are the things that we have to work on. And this usually is a very energizing moment for everybody that we combine with a little team outing. This time we're going to do beer and board games, so we stick around at the office, we order some food, we're going to play some board games together. Yeah, this is one of the most energizing and exciting weeks for me usually. Gives a lot of insight, gives a lot of energy, and distributes information really quickly in those 3 days between everybody individually and me and the team. So yeah, pretty excited about it. As you can see, it's really nice and sunny outside. Still having some good weather in October, so I'm gonna quickly leave my house and go towards the office. So let's talk about experimentation. Today was a day where I did not really remind myself to record everything I'm doing. Also, today was a desktop day, so I was a lot behind my computer. There was not much interesting to share right now, but I did have a really cool coaching session of a few coaches I'm training at a partner of ours on experimentation. And these things, they are quite sensitive to record because we talk a lot about clients, so I did not put my camera in the room. But we did have a really good 2-hour session where I really try to coach them on ongoing projects with big clients that they're working with that actually get them to go past just the testing of a new idea or a new message into the setting where they prove that a customer or a group of customers is willing to pay for a product or service and really starts using it. So I wanted to bring in some of these lessons that I shared with them today into this vlog. And there's 3 main lessons that I think we should cover. And the first is always, it's not enough to just test the first step in your funnel. So if you would think about the steps a customer goes through and that they would have to do to acquire and start using your product, people tend to focus on the first step, which is always, sign up for my service through a landing page, or I'm gonna convert them from a Facebook campaign into a funnel, and then ultimately I'm gonna send them an email to start using my product. And that's sort of like where it stops. And people really think, in general, when you prove that specific point, when you prove that somebody is actually signing up and that they show interest, that is enough to prove your business, but it's not. More often than not, we really push teams to go the extra distance and to start proving their business case by actually backing it up by real payments and real money. And I really believe that all the success stories that you see in experimentation and lean startup, they come about from a company that took their customers from a sign up on a landing page and proving their core assumptions into real payments, real behavior that they, that shows that this customer is actually wants to buy from you and wants to get your product and add it to their life. And that brings me to the point too. A lot of people, they really think only in business value, whereas in your experiments you're looking for customer behavior. So with the whole narrative around problems and solutions and problem-solution fit, product market fit, really people forget about that all you're looking after is customer behavior. All you're trying to do is identify assumptions and turn them into experiments that at a very small scale prove that a customer has a certain behavior, that prove that the customer is willing to do something or change in their life and actually interact with what you're trying to do, with your app, with your service, with your specific new business idea. And this is the core, the essence of where people get it wrong. It's all about customer behavior. It is about being able to design an experiment that proves and shows customer behavior in an observable way, whether it's through interviews or observations, or whether it is through building an app and tracking people in the app, and then being able to show to your investors or to yourself, if you're a profitable company, that you can get X amount of people to do something that benefits you as a business. Which brings me to the last point, and it's one of the most overlooked things in lean startup or experimentation, and it is everything starts small. It's very simple. People try to prove statistically significant on a very early stage that their business idea can work. And if you go about it too early in the process, if you go too soon into the stage where I want to have a 95% certainty and power in my statistics, it's very easy to get it wrong. You need to get a lot of traffic, you need to buy a lot of traffic if you're really starting from scratch. And therefore it becomes really expensive to prove that people are willing to sign up or that your proposition can work with a certain target audience on Facebook. So what we usually do is that we actually focus on signals in the beginning. So we're more interested in getting 100 people to do something. Whether it's statistically significant or scientifically sound, we don't care. If we get 100 people to give us a certain amount of money in the first month or within 2 weeks, this is of way more interest than being academically right about that the business case can work. And this allows you to, for a very small amount of people, whether it starts with 5, 10, 20 or 100, to prove that what you're onto is really good, but also when you take them really from the stage in where you acquire them as a user and as a customer into the stage where you charge them and where you deliver your service and where you can actually ask them, how was it? Did you like it? Did it help you? And hey, by the way, we're gonna stop doing this. Tell us all the reasons why we shouldn't stop doing this. This allows you to really prove that people want your product. It's not about the masses, it's really about finding your first customers that are so passionate about what you do, that are so, buying into what you do, and therefore they will tell their friends, or they will come up with new ideas, or they will contribute to your idea. This is where it's important, and this is where it really is at. And these are the three things. So it's really about the right where did I start? So it's really about testing the whole funnel. It's really about testing from A to B. So not just top of the funnel testing, not just testing, can I generate interest for a landing page, a proposition, a messaging. It's really about going the whole distance where you can actually have people sign up. Then the second part is, can you really track customer behavior? Can I get an experiment up and running that will prove that the behavior of the group of people I'm after, that I try to solve a problem for or to create value for, I can observe their behavior and therefore show their behavior to either my team or to my investors or to my stakeholders, that actually shows like, hey, there's something here. And then ultimately step 3 is always be able to do this with 5 people in the beginning. It's okay to have 5 customers. Actually, a lot of people who might be watching this wish they would have 5 customers or wish that they would have 5 users that are passionate. It's really about finding those first few people that really get you up and running and that promote you to the outside world. that will be the fuel for the next stage. So you go from 5, you go into 20, you go into 40, you go into 100, and that's the way you scale. But it always starts somewhere small. If you try to go big in the beginning, it's a recipe for failure. None of the examples that you'll hear about, whether it's Dropbox, Airbnb, or Facebook, started big. They started small. They really started with just a few people using their product, being passionate about it, and then the founders of these companies being able to observe, hey, this is what's happening, this is what people are doing, and this is what people want, therefore I know what to do. So ultimately, doing experimentation right is really focusing on being able to observe people, creating something that allows you to observe behavior, and then turning that into something that will allow you to identify the next step. So you go ultimately from signal to evidence, where evidence by my measure is always money and revenue, so you can sustain a business. That will allow you to actually turn your idea into something that you can be working on for a longer period of time. So that was my red thread to the day. That's what really, in this session in the afternoon, I realized again, working with some people who are working in the corporate field as coaches on this topic. There's a lot to be done there, and therefore we're starting to coach other coaches to teach more people how to do this, because we think it benefits the world to teach more companies how to use their resources and build new products. That was my Monday. Desk work, good experimentation coaching session, and a great lovely dinner with my girlfriend. I had a great day. I will see you tomorrow, because this week is really exciting for me. I'm really happy that we're gonna do the one-on-ones in the tunnel, and I'm super stoked about it. So talk to you tomorrow.